Hey guys, I want to welcome you to the weekly Wednesday for the Financial Freedom newsletter, where every week, every Wednesday, we delve into something inspirational, motivational, something excerpt taken from the Financial Freedom weekly newsletter. Wherever you are, if you're listening on Spotify, on iTunes, Google, be sure to click the like, subscribe, share, comment. And without ado, let's get into the show. Hey guys, welcome to this week's podcast episode for the Financial Freedom Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Christopher Liu, and I'm really excited about today's guest today. It's going to be all about AI, augmented copy, and marketing. Like I said, it's going to be talking about ChatGPT, really interesting. I've used it myself. And so welcome Steve to the show. Welcome.
Thanks, Chris. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, you have a interesting bio and background. So tell the audience about yourself and how you got started, and we'll go from there.
Well, you can probably tell from the accent. I'm from England originally. I moved to Canada kicking and screaming. I didn't really want to. My wife she's Canadian. She fell seriously ill. Turns out she had MS. So it was a kind of a forced migration. And my background is I'm a programmer and developer. I worked for the Fortune 500 company for nearly 20 years. And I found myself in a different country, not really wanting to code all night, drinking Pepsi with a bad back and a slightly worsening eye prescription over time. And then I realized I had also had an interest in marketing, what makes people tick, persuading them, solving problems. And so I kind of fell into marketing, but I find that my programming background kind of helps me. So I'm at the intersection now of marketing and technology, which is very much on point with things like ChatGPT and AI. And that's what I do. I consult and help businesses with AI adoption, with copywriting, with marketing, and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, I love this idea. And so talk to the audience, especially with copy marketing, it's all about words and how you do it. And you talk about this idea of, so this big thing in ChatGPT, for the audience, you can explain, but, prompts, and then why people are using ChatGPT all wrong.
Yes. Well, ChatGPT, as you know, from November 22, just kind of burst onto the scene. But it was the culmination of years of research on historically computers have been, we tell it exactly what to do, and then it goes off and does it. And so if you, for example, were trying in 1995 to get Excel to do something that it couldn't do, you'd have to wait until next year and see if that feature was added to Excel or whatever. So we were constantly prescribing or telling the computer, this is what you have to do. However, we realized for the bigger problems, if we want to solve the big problems, we want to cure cancer or climate change or any of the things that computers traditionally find difficult, we're going to have to find a different way for computers to learn. And obviously the most powerful or most efficient computer, hypercomputing, is the human brain. So research was made into, can we get a computer to teach itself? Can we get a computer to summarize, infer, extract, and translate information in the way that humans do? And so the problem that they realized very quickly is that humans, we're having a conversation now, so we're processing audio, we can read a book, we can read text, we can watch video, we can process video. Computers can do none of that. They are basically calculators. What they are very good at is numbers. So somebody had the brainwave of, why not take all this stimuli, all these inputs, whether it's text, whether it's video, whether it's audio, and convert all of that into numbers, which is what computers love. And then with ChatGPT, what it can now do is it finds if all the words and partial words, which it calls tokens, it took the whole internet and then converted it to numbers, and now it now does what it does best, crunch numbers, and it can see the relationships between numbers and then translates that back out. So now it appears that it understands you and it can write and talk about anything in an intelligent way. And so that was the big game changer, is AI, a computer learning over time, but being able to understand the world around it. And so that's why we have self-driving cars. That's why we have smart cities, and all these things are now possible because of AI.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And what we're seeing is really the, in beginning of, kind of paradigm shift. There's this new thing called the prompt engineering, where it's like learning how to ask the right questions and right for the GPT to give you the right answer and to optimize. But you talk about why prompts don't matter and what to do instead.
Yeah, well, everybody is fixated on prompts, and prompts are where you give an instruction to the AI to give some kind of output in return. However, my feeling is that we have been conditioned to use computers and to use the internet in the last nearly 30 years in a Google type of short phrases, short sentences, put it in the search box, get some results, hunt through those results, click on a few links, try to find if the thing was relevant, we have to find the relevant answer. But what people are doing is they're treating ChatGPT like Google, like a search engine, by putting in these one sentence short prompts like write me a letter to my boss asking for a pay rise, or write a funny email about finding financial freedom for physicians or entrepreneurs. However, the AI needs context. It needs to know what your business is, what's your tone of voice. And because it's looking for patterns, you need to give it some examples of what is a good output, what is success for this task. And so the one sentence simple prompt, which most people do without training, gets very generic, kind of boring, anodyne results. So people quickly say, this AI is useless, it doesn't know me, no one's going to read that, it's boring. However, if you give it context, if you give it good examples, if you enable it to understand what you're doing, then it can mimic your voice, it can hit all of your goals. And so it's less about the prompts, but more about being your thought process, your creativity. And so when I train people in my workshops, I focus not just on prompts, which you can copy and paste from anywhere, but how do you think about your business, can understand a problem, to know all of the relevant facts, and then to give that in a format to the way that the AI then becomes like a co-pilot for you. So that's why prompts are important, but they're only as good as the creative process and thought process that goes behind it to give the AI the right input.
Yeah, I love that idea. Now with AI, we can we can have the idea, and then the AI basically does the groundwork, and it reminds me of kind of like how machines took over physical labor, and now AI is taking over mental labor, so we can focus more on creative and higher order tasks, which is quite interesting. Basically you come up with the idea, and then the AI writes the article, or the marketing piece. Some examples like that you've seen with ChatGPT, with especially like copywriting, persuasion, tech, marketing. Give some examples to help the audience hear and illustrate it for the audience.
Well, the most recent training that I did, I called it Live and Let AI. By the way, my business name is Licensed to Quill. It was to imply that I'm elite and British like James Bond, but I'll be honest, that's where the comparisons kind of quickly end. But in my last Live and Let AI workshop, it was all about positioning, how client acquisition, especially big whale clients, finding a unique selling proposition, having the right tagline, say for LinkedIn or social media, being able to write compelling social posts or emails, or even a LinkedIn summary, should be a lot easier now. We have, like you say, a lot of this mental labor taken away from us from AI if we give it the right input. So in my last training, I was teaching people ChatGPT. You can position yourself as a problem solver, because there is a level at which highly motivated, highly successful businesses and entrepreneurs, they value their time more than money. They will throw money at a pressing, painful, urgent problem if they believe that you understand it and that you can solve it quickly. So how to position yourself as a problem solver, and it's a simple prompt in ChatGPT. You can take a niche, whether it is biopharma or whether it's self-driving cars or whether it's financial or whatever. And then you can ask it, give me 20 pressing problems, daily problems that people face. Or you can even give like a vice president of sales or chief marketing officer. And then it will give you 20 problems. And then what I like to do is to use ChatGPT to help it reason rather than just give out output. So I would say, of those problems, tell me what those people, whatever that avatar is, whether it's a chief marketing officer or whether it is the controller or CEO, what they commonly believe the root cause of that problem is. But then also show me, in actuality, what the real root cause is, and show me. And I like to get it to output as a table. And so automatically you're showing the gap in understanding why many businesses still struggle with these problems, because they don't understand the real root cause. And then I say, well, I'll take that real root cause and then give me some language in the form of some taglines or some headlines that show how we can move people away from pain, away from this problem, but don't say anything about moving towards a solution, because to grab somebody's attention in copywriting theory, we are more motivated by moving away from pain than towards a solution. For example, if I told you, oh, I can help you make $100,000, it's kind of like, yeah, well, I kind of hear that kind of claim all the time on the internet. But if I can show you specifically how you've already lost $100,000 this year, then and I show you how, you've got my attention. I've got your attention, haven't I? So we move people away from pain. ChatGPT is very good at producing that kind of language. And then it's if you're trying to avoid baggage or vocabulary that kind of gets people on edge, like sales calls or discovery calls, you can ask ChatGPT to give you visual descriptive language to describe your business, describe your tagline, what you do, but also call it like diagnostic call, for example, or goal-seeking call or something else. And then you can even get it to write LinkedIn bio for you. And then you can find those people who have this problem attending LinkedIn events. So I teach using ChatGPT to give you the language, but also to reason, to diagnose problems. And then by that, you can very easily position yourself as a problem solver who can solve high-ticket problems for people who are motivated and have a lot of money. This is now ridiculously easy. You don't need to be a management consultant. You don't need to have gone to university and understood mental models and how to think. Like you say, this mental labor has all been taken away from us. So from the marketing point of view, it should, if we're using it properly, it should raise our marketing game by several orders.
Yeah, it's quite. Yeah, I mean, it's so amazing. And so what's going to happen to marketers, copywriters, editors in this age of AI?
That's a very good question. I think the content writers across the board are losing their job. If you're just writing straight content, they're losing their jobs wholesale, because business owners do not see the need why they should be paying $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 a month to somebody who produces insipid content that doesn't actually convert, when I can get that from ChatGPT for free. So they're gone. ChatGPT doesn't replace jobs. It does tasks very, very well. And if your job is just a task that can be replicated just through text or through video coming soon or for audio, then that's gone. If you're a copywriter, if you're not a very good copywriter, then yeah, your job is either gone or it's under threat. What I would suggest to people is to continue to sharpen the axe and get good at whatever it is that you do, and then add another skill that makes you invaluable to a business. So if you're a copywriter, don't just be a copywriter, be a business strategist as well. Help people make good decisions. Teach them do copywriting in ads or conversion rate optimization. There's one offer that I teach is you go into a business and then you say, this website, this funnel that you're using, how much money does it make? And then you can say, well, I will improve the conversion rate. You don't pay me if it doesn't work, but if you do, then you can give me $1,000 for every percent it goes up. Most businesses that are paying for ads, they will snap your hand off for that. So it's about evolving from just being, I just do this task, to doing that kind of multidisciplinary thinking that AI currently doesn't do. And that's a small shift, but it's one that's going to keep us relevant as AI gets better and better.
Yeah, I love this. It's really interesting because, using AI and using ChatGPT, for example, big productions like a podcast or YouTube video now you can do it as fast as a social media post, and social media posts are almost kind of like a small text, and it's amazing. Just kind of, it shifted the time, the speed, efficiency of just putting content out there almost like 10x. With everything moving so fast, once ChatGPT came on, like back in November, it was just kind of, but now you're seeing it doing incredible things. And so what, when everything is moving so fast, how can people get the best out of AI? Almost like a day is almost a month in AI. So how can people prepare themselves?
Yes, well, I think there is, in my conversations I've been having with many large businesses, is that there's a sense of paralysis. Like, where do we start? There are some industry sectors that have a position when it comes to compliance. Compliance and legality is very, very important. But we do need to make a start somewhere. And I would say start simple, maybe just one task. And you're not looking to replace people at this stage. You're looking to augment what they're able to do. So they're able to do more, they're able to do better. Maybe that opens up other opportunities. But to start simple, and everything has to be still, this has been the age-old problem with technology, it has to be aligned around solving business problems and not the adoption of technology for technology's sake. Because there are AI startups coming out every day, like you say, and they all sound, oh, wow, that's amazing. But rather than thinking, well, how am I supposed to integrate that? That's not the starting point. The starting point should not be in this new technology, what should we do with it? It should be the plans of the business, the problems that you're trying to solve right now. There is plenty of tools. I'm sure they'll get better and better and better, but right now they would make a significant impact when it comes to either solving a problem, mitigating it, or even sidestepping it. So start from a business problem solving base first, and then see how that opens up other opportunities. But we kind of have to start somewhere, because like I say, if you have your competitor who has decided to at least start with something, they're already at a significant competitive advantage to you. If you decide, well, I'm just going to wait and wait and wait, at some point we have to kind of get our feet wet, as it were.
It's like I said, it's a lot of people are saying it's bigger than the internet. I thought blockchain was going to be big as well. That's got a lot of regulatory issues. But AI compounded with blockchain is gonna, quantum computing. Everything is like a fast moving train. You're just seeing it in slow motion. How can people contact you, follow you, check you out, and reach out to you?
Well, they can follow me. I'd always say the name's Raju, Steve Raju, License to Quill, licensetoquill.co. That's my website. And a little gift for your listeners, Chris, if they go to license/prompt. If you're not an expert on prompt engineering, some of the things we've talked about, there's something that was dropped in the OpenAI Discord. It's like gigantic prompt that you can just paste into a GPT-4 chat, and it's a prompt that writes perfect prompts. So that's licensetoquill.co/prompt. And you can go from 0 to prompt engineering ninja in seconds.
Yeah, amazing. For all the audience out there, really, let's thank Steve for coming onto the show. Like I said, AI is one of those really powerful. It's so powerful, almost like social media. Very powerful tool that you can use. All of his resources will be in the links and show notes. And be sure to check out the free gift as well, licensetoquill.co/prompt. Check that out as well. And with that, thanks so much for coming onto the podcast.
Thank you very much, Chris. It's been a pleasure.
hope you really enjoyed that wonderful, inspirational, motivational piece. Again, wherever you are listening, if you liked it, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. We're on everywhere: Spotify, iTunes, Google, Amazon, Audible. And without much ado, be sure to thank this show's sponsors, and we'll see you next week.